Some stories crawl out of the grave. Others are buried beneath ice and silence. From the bone-dry heart of the Australian outback to the snow-blind trails of Siberia, terror doesn't knock, it waits. Here, we tell the tales that stay with you long after the fire's gone out. Zombies, vanished hikers, unsolved deaths, end-of-the-world whispers that echo through time. This is Aussie After Dark, the place where the line between fact and fear disappears. So light a candle, lock the doors, and don't blink. Because the story you're about to hear might just be true. And if you can take a second to subscribe, it really motivates and helps to continue these stories. Well, anyway, let's join Mason once more. Day 6. What's left? No sun, no sky, just the wet weight of Brisbane closing in. Travis took point. Tahi carried Lily. Halim cleared alleys. Myers watched our rear. Elizabeth Street was a graveyard. Burned storefronts. A wedding dress hanging from a streetlight. Jenny gave orders in hand signals. Naya flanked left. I flanked right. Then the scream. 2 infected from a side store, 1 dragging chain. Myers and Halim moved like lightning. A man named Roland pointed. She worked in the uni canteen. She gave me coffee. Jenny spoke. We keep moving. We reached an overpass. Blocked. Tunnel beneath. Dark as guilt. I stood with Travis and Jenny in front of the tunnel mouth, staring into its black throat. Broken rebar hung like fangs. The wind howled through it in long, hollow moans. Our salvation? Or a tomb? Jenny spoke first, her voice low, cautious. We go through. No one replied. But we send a scout first. Naya stepped forward without hesitation. I followed. We'll go. Then another voice behind us. Make that 3. Officer Blake. Tall, lean, former highway patrol. Quiet since the start, but reliable. He checked the action on his rifle, nodded once. We moved in single file, the others watching us vanish into the dark. Inside, the air was wet and thick. Breathing walls. Everything dripped. Water, mold, blood from some forgotten fight. Rusty support beams creaked above us like dying trees. The beam from Blake's flashlight swept over tracks, muddy footprints, drag marks, something slithering. We stayed quiet. Every step an echo. About 50 meters in, we heard it. Shuffling feet. Wet breathing. Blake raised his rifle. I held up my pistol. We waited. 3 infected staggered into view around the bend, eyes white, jaws hanging open. 1 dragged a broken leg behind it, tendons still twitching. No time to think. Naya moved first, smooth and silent, slamming her baton through the first one's temple. Blake fired once, then twice. Center mass. The second dropped, chest caved in. The third lunged at me. I caught it mid-charge, drove its head into the tunnel wall. Bone cracked. It writhed. I didn't stop. Elbow to its throat, knee to the gut. Then the pistol, just under the jawline. It stopped moving. We stood over the bodies, panting. You good? Blake asked. Naya wiped blood off her arm, nodding. We pressed on. Further in, the tunnel curved and narrowed. The air turned sour, like rot and burnt plastic. Then we heard it. Coughing. Soft, brittle. We turned the corner and found them. 2 teenagers, huddled in a pocket of shadow beneath a collapsed ceiling beam. Skin pale, eyes sunken, clothes soaked. One held a length of pipe like it was a sword. The other just stared, too weak to move. Naya stepped forward slowly, lowering her weapon. She knelt, pulled a protein bar and half bottle of water from her jacket, and handed them over without a word. They grabbed the food like it might vanish if they blinked. Before I could say anything, Naya spoke. You come with us. Her voice was calm, certain. We don't leave people. One of the boys coughed again, still chewing, and looked up at her with hollow eyes. "You should," he whispered. Then the rain started again, hard, hammering the street grates above us. The tunnel moaned under the weight of it. But we'd made it through the dark, and we weren't coming back alone. We emerged from the tunnel, soaked to the bone, blood on our boots, 2 half-starved kids between us. The group was still there, clustered in the lee of a half-collapsed transit station, eyes wide when they saw us coming. Guns lowered. Shoulders sagged in quiet relief. Jenny was first to reach us. "You found them down there?" she asked, nodding toward the boys. I nodded. Alive. Barely. Naya handed over the rest of her supplies. Blanket, water, more food. Elspeth knelt to check the boys' pulses, whispering something soft, maternal. Travis leaned against a crumbling pillar, his leg bound tight, pale but awake. Blake gave him a quiet nod. "Tunnel's clear," I said to the group, raising my voice enough for them all to hear. "Safe enough. No sign of horde density or tunnel collapse past the midway point. If we move smart, we can get everyone through." Jenny glanced around at the others, their faces bruised, exhausted, mud-streaked, bloodied. A long pause passed before anyone spoke. "We need rest," Elspeth finally said. Her voice was steady, though her eyes never left the 2 boys now curled up against a wall, already half asleep. "There's a library," she added, 3 blocks northeast. Strong walls, steel doors. Used to be a cyclone shelter back in the day. If it hasn't been looted, it might hold. Blake looked at me. "We scout it." I nodded. "Yeah, let the others breathe. Just for one night." The decision was made. Quiet, unanimous. No vote needed. For the first time in hours, people sat, ate, held each other. Lily leaned against Naya, fast asleep with the axe still in her lap. The smaller of the rescued boys clutched Jenny's coat like it was armor. We didn't have peace. But we had a moment. Tomorrow, we'd face the tunnel. Tonight, we moved for the library. Travis took charge without needing to say much, his voice gravel-thick but steady. He pointed, gave short nods. "Myers, Blake, east side. Keep low. Rotate every hour. No noise unless it matters. Jenny, take rear watch with Elspeth after dusk." Everyone moved. Elspeth sat cross-legged near the wall, brushing the dirt and blood out of her daughter's curls with a cracked comb. Her hands trembled, but she didn't stop. Not once. Naya crouched beside Yusuf and Donnie in a darkened corner, their voices hushed, probably talking next steps, probably just trying to feel human again. Near the door, Myers sat with his rifle across his lap, back to the wall, eyes unfocused. After a while he spoke, quiet, like he wasn't really talking to any of us. "Day 2, he said, staring past the shadows. "I shot a man who asked for help. Didn't know he was clean. No one answered. No one judged. None of us were clean anymore." Across the room, Halim hunched over the radio, sleeves rolled, fingers patched in gauze and blood. Sparks hissed from the circuit board. He tuned in, slow, patient. A voice finally cracked through. "Extraction confirmed. Moruca Rail Station. 48 hours. Approach with caution. Hostiles. Near." We all heard it. Travis nodded once, then spoke from the shadows, like it was just another task on the list. "Rail lines blocked. We go by road. No complaints. No questions. We knew the road wasn't safer, but it was what we had. And sometimes, forward is the only direction that's still alive." The rain had softened to a steady rhythm, tapping against the rusted roof of the library like an old heartbeat. Most of the group had settled in for the night, some sleeping, some just staring at the dark. I stepped outside into the alcove, needing air. Jenny was already there, crouched near the steps, sharpening her knife with slow, deliberate strokes. Naya sat on the stone ledge, hood up, knees drawn to her chest, watching the night like it owed her something. I leaned against the wall beside them. No one spoke at first, just the quiet scrape of steel on steel and the occasional distant thunder. Then Naya broke the silence. "You two always look at me like I'm gonna break." Jenny glanced up, smirking. "Because you act like you're made of concrete." Naya shrugged. "I'm not a kid." "Didn't say you were," I said. "But you're not 30 either." Naya hesitated. Then, voice low, almost guilty. "I'm 14. That hit harder than I expected. 14. Jenny slowed her sharpening, then stopped altogether. Naya kept talking, her voice quieter now. "Mum used to say I was born tired, like I came out already disappointed." A dry chuckle. "Guess she wasn't wrong." I looked at her, really looked. Dirt-smudged cheeks, cuts on her knuckles, eyes far older than her bones. "You're still standing," I said. "That counts for something." Naya finally looked at me. "So are you." Jenny slid the blade into her belt, stretching out her legs. "We've all done things we didn't think we could, or should have never had to." She looked between us. "But we're here. That means something, too." Naya nodded, eyes glossy but proud. "We've got each other, right?" I put a hand on her shoulder. Firm. Until the end. Jenny mirrored the gesture. Whatever comes next, we don't let go. The three of us sat there a little longer, saying nothing more. Just breathing the same ruined air, just holding the line. Day 7. Tunnel or tomb. The tunnel swallowed our light. Echoes chased us. Our footfalls, our breath, the scrape of boots on broken rails. Jenny led the way with the map, torch in one hand, rifle in the other. Elspeth walked beside her, quietly redrawing the route in chalk. Tighter paths, shorter gaps, natural choke points where the walls narrowed. I watched them both, leaders, in their own way. The air was thick and wet. Pipes groaned overhead. Water dripped from rusted seams, painting streaks down the walls like veins. We reached a narrowing where the tunnel split, one way choked with rubble, the other dark, but open. As we crossed a rusted service bridge strung over a pit of standing water, movement echoed behind us. 10 figures, maybe more. Blake took the rear, pushing civilians forward, shouting directions through the dark. The tunnel echoed with panic, the screech of the infected behind us growing louder, closer. Naya stumbled. Elspeth grabbed her. Jenny barked orders. No one was listening anymore. It was chaos. "Keep moving," Blake shouted. He turned and fired down the dark, short bursts, controlled. "Go, I've got it." "Blake, move!" Jenny called back, her voice ragged. "We need you." But Blake just glanced at her, then at me, then Travis. And he smiled, just a tired, crooked grin beneath blood and soot. "Somebody has to hold the line." Then he ran, back into the dark, toward the snarls and claws and echoes of death. We didn't see him again. Gunshots rang out, sharp, defiant, then screaming, not his, theirs. A flare burst, green, painting the tunnel in sick light. Then silence. No final call, no last words. Just the tunnel closing in behind us, too heavy to look back through. Was he dead? Maybe. But part of me still believes he found another way out, that he's watching our backs, somewhere beyond the dark. We moved on, past shattered bulkheads, over the broken tracks of what once connected a city. Each step deeper into the tunnel carved something out of us, bit by bit. Dawn broke behind the clouds above, but we didn't see it. Down here, it was still night. And we were still breathing, still moving. For now. We stumbled out of the tunnel like ghosts, dust-covered, bruised, eyes burning from the stench of rot and smoke. The light outside wasn't much better. just a gray smear of morning. But it was open air, and for a second, we thought we were safe.